Francine, as I speak, as I tell you the story, shares continue to slide. They're now down by 13.7%. So literally, in a matter of minutes, since 10:45, what are we now, 10:53 local time, in a matter of minutes, it's lost 10% of its value, which leads me to the two-day performance, because in the last 2 days, the shares have now fallen by 30%. This is incredible. 22 billion euros. This is higher than the penalties many think Volkswagen could be imposed at a worst-case scenario.
All right, Mark, let's also go back to Hans, because Hans, you know, to put this into context, so 11 million vehicles have been affected. Now, this doesn't mean that we'll have 11 million recalls. If you look at the huge numbers, so Volkswagen is basically neck and neck with Toyota. They produce 10 million a year. This is basically the production for a whole entire year of Volkswagen being affected.
Yeah. And, you know, if the problem started in 2009, we can back that out and say they've roughly produced in the range of 55 million vehicles since 2009. So that would represent about 20% of the vehicles out there. I want to say something that might be a little bit contrary here. Mark made the comparison between Volkswagen and BP. In this statement that Volkswagen is putting out, they're almost doubling down on their defense. They're saying that the software did not affect emissions. It did not affect handling either. But for Volkswagen, after what they've been through, and you have to imagine that in Wolfsburg, they've had a difficult 24 or 48 hours. For them to say now, as they're gathering the facts, that this software did not affect emissions, it may be the beginning of us getting Volkswagen's side of the story. And that side of the story will be litigated, it will be challenged. The EPA obviously doesn't very much trust Volkswagen. They don't like what they've done. And we have Volkswagen publicly saying that they've screwed up here. But the idea that they're saying that their software, and that's what we're talking about, this defeat device, they are saying that their software didn't affect emissions. I'm having a difficult time squaring that statement out of company headquarters with what Winterkorn said on Sunday, which is we screwed up, and what the head of North American operations said late last night in New York, saying that we've made a mistake, we've lost trust. So I think there's a lot more we need to know about just what went on with these defeat devices and whether or not Volkswagen thought that they were somehow within, if not the spirit of the law, the color of the law.